Chapter 10. The most awkward Viking luau ever. As if Dragon Thursday wasn't bad enough, it was also a theme night in the feast hall. Hawaiian luau. Ugh. I understood that the management needed to keep things interesting, especially for warriors who'd been waiting here for doomsday since the Middle Ages. Still, the luau seemed a little cultural appropriation-y to me. Vikings were notorious for appropriating from other cultures, also for pillaging and burning said cultures. Besides, seeing thousands of Einherjar in Hawaiian shirts and flower leis was like getting a neon paint grenade between the eyes. The feast hall was packed right up to the nosebleed section. Hundreds of tables arranged like stadium seating, all facing the central court, where a tree as big as TD Garden spread its branches across the vast domed roof. Near its roots, turning on a spit above the fire pit, was our usual dinner. The carcass of Serimnir, the feast beast, who tonight wore a lovely necklace of orchids. Stuffed in his mouth was a pineapple the size of Wisconsin. Valkyries flew back and forth across the hall, filling pitchers, serving food, and somehow managing to avoid setting their grass skirts on fire in the tiki torches that flickered along the aisles. "Magnus!" TJ called, waving me over. His rifle was propped next to him, the broken stock patched up with duct tape. We didn't have assigned tables. That would have cut down on the fun of fighting each other for the best seats. Tonight, my hallmates had scored a great location on the third tier, a few rows from the Thane's table. "There's our sleepy boy," Halfborn grinned, his teeth flecked with roasted Serimnir. "Alikar, my friend." Mallory elbowed him. "It's aloha, moron." She rolled her eyes at me. "Alikar is Norse for fatso, as Halfborn knows perfectly well." "Close enough." Halfborn pounded his goblet to the Valkyrie's attention. "Some meat and meat for my friend." I took a seat between Mallory and TJ. Soon I had a cold mug of meat and a hot plate of Serimnir with biscuits and gravy. Despite all the craziness I'd gone through today, I had a huge appetite. Getting resurrected always did that to me. I dug in. Sitting at the Thane's table was the usual assortment of famous dead people. I recognized Jim Bowie, Crispus Atticus, and Ernie Pyle, all of whom had died bravely in combat along with Helgi, the hotel manager, and some other ancient Viking dudes. The central throne for Odin was empty as usual. Sam supposedly received orders from the Allfather once in a while, but Odin hadn't appeared in person since the end of our quest back in January. Probably he was working on his next book. 5 days to your best Ragnarok ever, and the accompanying PowerPoint presentation. To the left of the Thanes was the Table of Honor. Tonight it was occupied by only 2 people, Alex Fierro and her Valkyrie sponsor, Samira Alabaz. This meant that, in all the 9 worlds, in the last 24 hours, only Alex had died a death worthy of Valhalla. That wasn't necessarily unusual. The nightly numbers ranged from 0 to 12. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that nobody else had died bravely today merely because they didn't want to share a table with Alex. 2 Valkyrie guards stood behind her as if ready to prevent an escape attempt. Sam's body language looked pretty stiff. I was too far away to hear, but I imagine her conversation with Alex was something like, "Awkward? Awkward, awkward. Awkward, awkward, awkward." Next to me, TJ pushed away his empty plate. "Some combat today. I've never seen anyone do that." He drew a line across his neck. "So quick and cold." I resisted the urge to touch my throat. "First time I've been decapitated." "Not fun, is it?" Mallory said. "What was going on with you, steaming and threatening to explode like that?" I know my hallmates a while now. I trusted them like family, and I mean like Annabeth family, not Uncle Randolph family. I told them everything. Loki in his ghastly green tuxedo inviting me to a wedding. The dreams about my uncle Hearth and Blitz and the giant siblings in the bar. "Thrym." Halfborn Gunderson picked some biscuit out of his beard. "I know that name from the old legends. He was one of the Earth Giant Kings. But it couldn't be the same guy. That Thrym was killed good proper centuries ago." I thought about Otis the goat, who could supposedly reform from the mist of Ginnungagap. "Giants don't, resurrect?" Halfborn scoffed. "Not that I've heard of. Probably this is another Thrym. It's a common name, still. If he has Thor's hammer." "We should probably not spread the news that it's missing," I said. "Too right," Mallory grumbled. "You say this giant plans on marrying..." Her finger drifted in the direction of Samira. "Does Sam know about this scheme?" "I need to ask her," I said. "Either way, we've got 5 days. Then if this giant Thrym doesn't get his bride..." "He jumps on the telegraph," TJ said. "And he tells all the other giants that he's got Thor's hammer. Then they invade Midgard." I decided not to remind TJ that no one used telegraphs anymore. Halfborn picked up his steak knife and started cleaning his teeth. Don't understand why this dream fellow waited so long. If he's held the hammer for months, aren't we already under attack? I didn't have an answer, but I imagined it had something to do with Loki. As always, he'd be whispering in people's ears, manipulating events from behind the scenes. Whatever Loki wanted from this weird marriage transaction, I was sure of one thing. He wasn't trying to get Thor's hammer back just because he was a swell guy. I stared across the hall at Alex Fierro. I remembered what she had said on the battlefield when we faced Grimwolf. He sent it for me. He knows I'm here. Mallory nudged me. You're thinking the same thing, eh? Can't be a coincidence that Alex Fierro arrived in the midst of all this. You think Loki sent her? I felt like a bathtub goldfish was wriggling its way back down my throat. How could Loki arrange for someone to become an Einherji? Oh, my friend. TJ shook his head. The combination of his floral patterned Hawaiian shirt with his Union Army jacket made him look like a detective from Hawaii 5-0, 1862. How could Loki release an elder Lindworm into Valhalla? How could he help Johnny Reb win the first battle of Bull Run? Loki did what? My point is, Loki can do many things, TJ said. Don't ever underestimate him. It was good advice. Still, staring at Alex Fierro, I had trouble believing she was a spy. Terrifying and dangerous, yes. A pain in the loincloth? Sure. But working for her father? Wouldn't Loki pick somebody who blended in a little more? I asked. Besides, when Loki was in my head, he told me not to bring Alex to this wedding. He said she would ruin everything. Reverse psychology, Halfborn suggested, still working the knife between his teeth. Mallory snorted. What do you know about psychology, you oaf? Or reverse psychology. Halfborn wriggled his bushy eyebrows. That Loki's a tricky one. Mallory threw a baked potato at him. All I'm saying is that Alex Fierro bears watching. After she killed the Lindworm, with a little help from me, TJ added. She disappeared into the woods. She left TJ and me to fend for ourselves. Then the rest of the dragons descended on us out of nowhere. And killed us, TJ said. Yeah, that was a little odd. Halfborn grunted. Fierro is a child of Loki, and an Arger. You can't trust an Arger in combat. Mallory swallowed his arm. Your attitude is more offensive than your smell. I find your offense offensive, Halfborn protested. Argers aren't warriors, that's all I meant. Oh, okay, what is an Arger? I asked. When you first said it, I thought it was a monster, like... Then I thought maybe it was another word for pirate, like one who args. Does it mean like a transgender person or what? Literally, it means unmanly, Mallory said. It's a deadly insult among big, loutish Vikings like this guy. She poked Halfborn in the chest. Bah, said Halfborn. It's only an offense if you can call someone Arger who isn't Arger. Gender-fluid people are hardly a new thing, Magnus. There are plenty of Arger among the Norse. They serve their purposes. Some of the greatest priests and sorcerers were... He made circles in the air with his steak knife. You know. Mallory frowned at me. My boyfriend is a Neanderthal. Not at all, Halfborn said. I'm an enlightened, modern man from the year 865 CE. Now, if you talk to those Einherji from 700 CE, well, they're not as open-minded about such things. TJ sipped his mead, his eyes fixed in the distance. During the war, we had a scout from the Lenape tribe. He called himself, or herself, Mother William. That's an awful war name, Halfborn complained. Who would tremble in terror before someone called Mother William? TJ shrugged. I'll admit most of us didn't know what to make of him. His identity seemed to change day to day. He said he had two spirits in his body, one male and one female, but I'm telling you, great scout. Saved us from an ambush during the march through Georgia. I watched Alex eat her dinner, gingerly picking pieces of carrot and potato from her plate. It was hard to believe that a few hours ago those same delicate fingers had taken down a dragon and cut off my head with a wire. Halfborn leaned toward me. There's no shame in being attracted, Magnus. I choked on a piece of feast piece. What? No, I wasn't... Staring? Halfborn grinned. You know, Frey's priests were very fluid. During the harvest festival, they used to wear dresses and do some amazing dances. You're messing with me, I said. Nope, Halfborn chuckled. One time in Uppsala, I met this lovely... His story was cut short by the sound of horns echoing through the hall. At the Thane's table, Helgi rose. Since this morning, he'd repaired his suit jacket and clipped his beard, but he was now wearing an oversized war helmet. probably to hide the damage Alex Fierro had done to his dead buzzard hairdo. "And there ye are," his voice boomed. "Tonight only one fallen warrior has joined us, but I'm told the story of his death is quite impressive." He scowled at Samir Al-Abbas as if to say, "It better be." "Rise, Alex Fierro, and dazzle us with your glorious deeds."